All right, everybody, Hafa and welcome back to the show. I'm still Jason Salas, and Victoria Lola Leongro joins me in studio now, my very good friend of many, many years. Vicky, hello.
Hello, Hafa. Nice to be here with you today.
Yeah, very good to see you. And Mark, as the cool kids call it, but formerly the Micronesian Area Research Center, is celebrating a momentous event this year, 50 years, of course, doing amazing research, documentation, and everything like that. So you're actually working on a project to help make sure we solidify that.
Yeah, so as part of Mark's 50th anniversary, we're doing a fundraiser to publish a contemporary comprehensive Guam history book. So
contemporary and comprehensive.
Yeah, so
you're going for both sides of the pool at the same time.
Exactly. So, you know, what we realized as part of Mark and the University of Guam's mission to really be a source for information about Guam and our region, the university revived the University of Guam Press almost 3 years ago. And, you know, we've been publishing a lot of really wonderful books. And we realized that what we have a great need for are more books about our island's history. There hasn't really been a comprehensive history text published in over a decade. And in that time, so much history is happening. And so we'd like to, you know, be able to document all of the great things that are happening, all of the changing dynamics within our community, and really produce a comprehensive history book that really looks at the history of the government of Guam, the history of our people's movements for self-determination. We're interested in issues dealing with like changing family dynamics, you know, political, social, and artistic movements. All of these things need to be documented and made available to our community, to our students. And so because that's such a big part of Mark's role, we really felt it was important in the 50th anniversary of Mark to be able to you know, do a call for people interested in authoring such a book. And so we put out a call for two things. First, we're interested in creating a pool of writers and historians who would be helping to co-author this comprehensive history book. And so we're asking that any authors or historians interested in taking part in this project provide a cover letter expressing their interests and a 25-page manuscript of their work as a sample of the kind of writing that they do. And then the second thing we're looking for are for already written books. So people who've written, you know, their doctoral dissertations or master's theses, or even just, you know, collections of essays, or, you know, historical nonfiction, historical fiction.
Or even for people like for honks and giggles, they want to capture a certain aspect of Guam history, maybe
exactly
pre-colonialism period, maybe, you know, the 60s on Guam or something like that. Are those people welcome as well?
Absolutely. So, you know, we're basically doing an open call for manuscripts and anything really that people have been writing about Guam, about our people, our culture, our history, whether it be academic research or poetry and fiction, we have this open call for submissions. And in that case, what would happen is that you would submit your manuscript, it would go through a blind review, and then our reviewers would recommend whether or not the manuscript is ready for publication. If it isn't, they'd make recommendations as to what would need to be done before it be ready for publication. And so ultimately what we're looking for at Mark and UOG Press are a wide array of books about Guam and our people to basically fill this big gap, you know, in our literary canon.
Because you've got the hard part, because say you get 75 authors, you know, submitting their works, and these, as you said, these may be academic papers, these may be formerly published titles and everything like that, and then you guys actually have to organize it and put in some sort of cogent, you know, say, here's how we're going to lay this out.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we have an open submissions policy. So anybody can actually submit manuscripts to UOG Press any time of the year. And we already have a publishing policy in place where, you know, all manuscripts that are submitted are blind reviewed, meaning the reviewers don't know who wrote it. The writing is really reviewed based on the writing itself. And then from that review, we decide, okay, is it ready for publication? And so through that open call, we've actually published a beautiful collection so far of Chamorro children's books, for example. We recently published a history book, but it was in 1700, right? That was written in 1700, translated in English with a really interesting introduction about sort of why the Jesuits came to Guam in the first place. But, you know, while that is very important, and Mark has really been publishing these kinds of accounts for decades, we really see the need for documenting history as it happens today. That if we don't, you know, collect these stories, document them, make them available to the community in the form of books, then will that history be lost, right? And so that's why we felt it very important to do this call. And so we're asking for people to respond to the call, either, again, as I said, if you're interested in being part of this pool of writers, please email me by February 28th. That's the deadline for the call, with a cover letter of interest and a 25-page manuscript. And they can email victorialola@triton.uog.edu. And all this information is also available on the University of Guam's website.
Very good. All right. Well, Vicki, we really appreciate having people like you being able to document our history and actually put it together in what's, I'm sure, going to be a fantastic bound format. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you're welcome back anytime to talk about like how the project's going. We'd love to have you back.
Great. Thank you.
All right.